Hello everyone and welcome back to Ruby Lessons in Code Academy. So in the last lesson we looked at symbols, and in the lesson before that we looked at hashes in a bit more detail. So today we're going to be putting them both together to make something better. So our first lesson is going to be called All Aboard the Hash Rocket. So let's see what it's talking about. The hash syntax you've seen so far with the arrow symbol thing between the keys and values is sometimes nicknamed the hash rocket style. So this is because the equal to and greater than sign looks like a tiny rocket. Okay, fair enough. Let's build a hash from the ground up using symbols as keys. So far we've only used strings and integers. Now we're going to be starting to use symbols instead. Instructions: create a hash called movies with symbols as keys and strings as values. So we're going to be doing this. Inside your hash, add two key value pairs. So you have something hash 1 equals, and then we have hash 2 equals. We want to set them to be as strings. Well, the values need to be as strings, so I don't know. Why not? Doesn't really matter for now. The keys should be the names of movies. Oh, okay. Why not? Are they going to give us some specific? Nope, they don't give us anything specific. Okay, Terminator. And what else? ET. The values should be quick description of reviews. Shooting robots. I just don't feel like writing a long review. And alien comes to Earth. Earth with the capital, of course. Check out the hint if you want an example. Okay. No, we should be fine, I believe. Oh, and that shouldn't be an equal to sign. That should be the equal to greater than. My mistake. There we go. Good. So now we have two key value pairs in our movies list. Or hash, actually. Let's move on. The hash rocket has landed. However, the hash syntax has changed in Ruby 1.9. Just when you were getting comfortable, okay? The good news is that the new syntax is easier to type than the old hash rocket syntax, and if you're used to JavaScript objects or Python dictionaries, it will look very familiar. Oh, nice. It's a colon. The two changes are, you put the colon at the end of the symbol, not at the beginning, and you don't need the hash rocket anymore. Oh, so you can just remove the colon from there? That's kind of weird. And that gets removed. It's important to know that even though these keys have colons at the end instead of the beginning, they're still symbols. Okay, so they are actually still showing up as a color now. That's weird. Let's see what happens. So puts new hash 1, 2, 3. From now on, we'll use the new 1.9 hash syntax when giving examples or providing default code. You'll want to be familiar with the hash rocket style when reading over people's code, which might be older. So if people have written code that's in older Ruby, then you might still need to be using the hash rocket style, whereas if it's more recent, so 1.9 onwards, you would see something like this. Instructions: update your hash from the previous exercise, blah blah blah. We have already done that. And good, we have, again, it prints it out like this, even though the actual thing that we've written right now is this. So that's quite interesting. Let's move on. Dare to compare. We mentioned that hash lookup is faster with symbol keys than with string keys. So they're going to prove it to us. Let's see. The code in the editor uses some new syntax, so don't worry about understanding all of it just yet. It builds two alphabet hashes. One that pairs a string letter with their place in the alphabet, so A with 1, B with 2, and so on. Z with 26, I believe. We'll look up the letter R 100,000 times to see which process runs faster. And they're going to tell us how many seconds. By the looks of things, it's good to keep in mind that the numbers you'll see are only fractions of a second apart. And we did the hash lookup 100,000 times each, so that instead of having it a fraction of a second, it's going to be 100 1,000 times a fraction of a second. It's not much of a performance increase to use symbols in this case, but it's definitely there. So if you were going to work on a massive project which does this trillions of times, then do consider using symbols instead of strings. So instructions, the numbers don't lie. Click them and submit code to see for yourself. I just want to look through the code and explain it. So require a benchmark. That's probably like, what's it called? A library of some sort. Then we have string AZ. So that's one hash. That's the other hash, where this one contains the alphabet as strings and this one contains it as symbols. String time benchmark.realTime, so that benchmarks or records how many seconds it takes to do this whole thing, and this records how much it takes to do the same thing but with symbols, whereas this is with strings, and then it just outputs that. So as you can see, this is about more than 3 times slower, or the string. Okay, so 3 times faster. The symbol one is 3 times faster than the symbol one, than the string one. Maybe slightly less. So I am going to do this on a calculator, which I have opened up right here. You probably won't be able to see it. Yeah, you can't see it, but or I can just Google it actually. That's quite a simple thing to do. Divided by, what's the other value? Here we go. If I divide those two, oh, okay, I have Yahoo. Google.com to the rescue. That is almost 3 times faster. So a 300% increase in efficiency is quite good. Just going to say it. Especially in things, if you're doing it many times. If you're only doing it once, it doesn't really matter, but some programs do multiple things, one thing multiple times, which does save a lot of efficiency. Okay, so now actually moving on. So becoming more selective. We know how to grab a specific value from a hash by specifying the associated key. But what if we want to filter a hash for values that meet certain criteria? For that we can use .select. So let's look at this code. In the example above, we first create a grades hash that maps symbols to integers. So Alice 100, Bob 92, Chris 95, Dave 97. Let's imagine their ages maybe? I don't know. Then we call the .select method and pass, .select and pass in a block of code. So remember, a block is something that is between do end or open and close curly braces. The block contains an expression for selecting matching key value pairs. It returns a hash containing Bob and Chris. So Bob and Chris, okay? So where grade is less than 97. Okay, so it's getting their grades. So where Alice has 100, so that's not less than 97. 97 is not less than 97, it's equal to 97. But anything that is less than 97 in the value spot is going to be printed out by using this. Finally, we call the .select method again. Our blocks look only for the key Alice, and this is an inefficient method of getting the key value pair, but it shows that .select does not modify the hash. Okay, .select, then we get k, where k equals Alice, so that's going to be the key equals Alice. And it doesn't change the hash values or keys. So here we're using the name or k to stand for the key and grade for v to stand for the value, but as usual with blocks you can call your variables whatever you like, which is quite convenient. But you should still try to call them a reasonable name instead of just like variable a or variable b, because I do know some people that do that. Instructions: create a new variable, good movies, and set it equal to the result of calling .select, okay, on movie ratings. .select. Oh no, I don't need the curly braces right now. I need the curly braces over here. And okay, on movie ratings, selecting only movies with a rating strictly greater than 3. So we have the pipe, we can have, again, I'm going to do the KV, because I already explained it, and it's quite a simple way of doing it, where V is equal to the number, so greater than 3, so not equal to as well. And I don't need to remove that. Where V is greater than, where V is greater than 3, not less than. My mistake. There we go. And that returns Primer, The Matrix, Truman Show, Skyfall, and Lion King. All the others are less than 3. So you have Red Dawn doesn't show up, Alex Cross doesn't show up, UHF doesn't show up. And that is what we were expecting. So moving on. More methods, more solutions. So the more you know, the more things you can make. We've often found we only want the key or value associated with the key value pair, and it's kind of a pain to put both into our block and only work with one. And it's also slightly more inefficient if you're just working with one, because there is no reason to get the other. So can we iterate over just keys or just values? Yes, we can. Ruby includes 2 hash methods, .each key and .each value. Quite convenient, even with the naming. That do exactly what you'd expect. .each key gives you the key, .each value gives you the value. So let's wrap up our study of Ruby hashes and symbols by testing these methods out. Go ahead and print out just the titles of our movies using puts. Puts, movie ratings, .each underscore, was it key? Oh, titles. So that's going to be the, oh yeah, that is going to be the key, isn't it? Dot key. Is that going to do it? No. What am I need a block. Wow, I'm being so bad right now. Yeah, there we go. Or not. Okay. My brain isn't just working right now. I just got the order of things mixed up. So you don't puts the whole thing, you put puts inside the code block. So you get K, puts, K. K being, the first K being in pipes, of course, as you're getting that from the hash. And if you do that, you get badge. And we are done with this section and with this lesson. So if you have any questions, do feel free to ask them in the comments down below. I will make sure to answer them as soon as I can. Other than that, if you enjoyed watching this video, then please give me a like, share and subscribe. It helps me out. Also, if you didn't enjoy it, please give me some feedbacks of how to improve for next time. But until that next time, thank you so much for watching and goodbye.